Hello and welcome. It is currently 10:40 a.m. Eastern Time, and the date is the 21st of May, 2021. My name is Derek, and this is the Money Charts channel. All bets, trades, and amongst the like, each his own risk to their own reward. In this cryptocurrency market or trading game, or however you want to label such, one thing you're going to have to realize is that there's going to be big swings. Thus, your portfolio or one's portfolio, well, doing the same thing. And I'm sure over this big down move here, they talked about how much was lost in the cryptocurrency, how much people lost, myself included, and a lot of you watching as well. I can't wait till the first time I can lose $1 million on a move. That hasn't happened yet. I did lose a very large chunk over this move, but how much did I gain from here to here? And from, well, here to here. Oh, and even from here to here. And what happened from here down to here, and here up to here. Oh, and what happened from these highs over here to these lows down there? Your portfolio is going to go up, and your portfolio is going to go down. Thus, if you're in the area of investing like 10, 20, 15%, 5%, 25, 30% of, well, maybe not 30, but a decent but not so large chunk of savings into such, that might, I mean, your gains can still be magnificent, and it might be a little easier to handle downward situations. And of course, putting large amounts in, well, you can win a lot, and you can go through large size moves as it is. And then you got the ways of trading the market. 1 minute term time frame. This thing is just falling right now. Just down it goes. It was 10:09, 10:10, whatever. Something news related probably happened. I don't know, but it does. 41,500 change. Just recently down to under 37. So that's over 10%. And the time frame is not an hour, but more than a half though. And 5 minute, just elevator ride down. Now, if you were in the situation where maybe you had a buy order, where I talk about the buy low, sell high strategy, if you've been trading any of these cryptocurrencies with the US dollar and over the last few days, the volatility has just been enormous, to say the least. So therefore, when you go back to the bull run of breaking 11,000, all the price action north of the 18 average of highs, sell some at 16, you sell some at 20 maybe, you sell some at 24, and all the way up to that 60 number. What I like to do, okay, so you sold some at like 20, okay, maybe have a buy order ready at 13 or 14 or 16 or what have you. And when you sold some at 26, maybe you're looking to buy that back at whichever much lower number from that point. But then you also sold at 35 and 40 and 50. And it can work out when we look at the movements that a lot of those, so I sold at 60, okay, I want to buy some back at like 40 or 42. Well, 42 would have happened on May the 12th. And then you put your sell order for that. Maybe might not have hit, but all the other buy orders down all the way to, what's this low in here? Like 32,000 would have hit. And anything that you've sold from or bought from 32, maybe, okay, I'm going to put a sell order for 38 or 39 or 40. Okay, that would have hit. And now you can put a buy order in. So there's been a lot of volatility. And then smaller percentage moves is just a lot of big plays there as well. If you're playing for 2%, 5%, 8% moves, 15, and what have you there as well. Now, one thing I like to want to look at is, I got the Fibonacci lines in here, and then I'm going to do some more as well. So these fib levels have worked out very fantastic. So therefore, we already came down to the 33 level within that last move. Whether we break that and test a newer level soon or later, soon being like today, tomorrow, next day, later being a few weeks from now, I don't know. But if this level fails and support no longer exists and such, and we start to show breakdown signs from that, well, these levels have worked out well. I would expect next expected target of 22,000 to hit. You know, they usually pierce extra, and 20,000 is really where we came from. So probably around 20. If this ends up failing in time, and how are one ways of seeing that it does? And well, I need to shorten out the time frame and look at levels from key low to key high. Now I've already drawn the fib lines in here already as it is. So I'm going to use a different exchange. And there we have it. And I need to shorten it out because I'm looking at this low to this high. So I don't need any of this data right now. So therefore I'm going to bring up my Fibonacci calculator. I'm going to put the high in, and the high is right here, and I really don't need the exact number because this is good enough. 42,370. And I want to divide that by the low. Which would be this red period here of exactly 30,000. That's something I should have an easy time to memorize. But anyway, the must-hold area, it's really the 34,229. So let me, and then 37,135, which is where we pretty much are now. So I have the 37, let me just put a line in there. Close enough. So we've come down to the first level of Fibonacci, an area where we would expect some sort of support. We've seen on the 1 minute how it has had a big move. And then one of the things I like to notice within here, you're watching this at 10:27 a.m. and you're like, okay, well, we got like this number here. It usually goes lower than this, and then starting to rally. Well, moves not probably over. Then it does hit it, and it goes a bit more. And sure, we can still have some more entanglement with this and have good short-term support here, as well as, of course, longer-term. But we'll see. But if you see that this is really showing weakness, like there's majorly big short setups coming in, and then you got to start to think, okay, maybe it's going to make a statement that it is going to go down to, of course, the next key level, and that is in at 34,229. And I got to draw it in here and on the single hour term. So therefore, yeah, on the short term, as we can see in here, I had the one on before, so let's go back to it. If we're seeing the weakness here, we aren't able to sustain anything from here. It's already had one test within the highs and a little bit of correction and moves from it. So if I see weakness leaving the lows in here, that's going to be that's just barely enough as it is. And if it can get out above this 18 average of highs in the next little bit, it's not doing greatest now, but it's hanging in there. But if it does, then we got key fib from like the $37,000 low, and then of course this high, and it's got to get and hold above, break above that 61.8%, approximately in the area of near 40,000. So that is on that level there. So that would be a move, but this is all short term. And again, as mentioned, if this level doesn't hold, we're talking about making a move here, which if this fails, not looking good. But even then, I'm looking at this from, just take a look at the hourly. As much, I guess we had support here, but I see bigger support at around 34, well, 35, I suppose. But even as it goes, if it you start to see it breaking down below 33,600, well, that's giving you indication that we might be heading for 20 because of the more longer term status as stated on the outset. Okay. That is the BTC analysis. The altcoins are getting hit as well. This is Theta on, and this was against Bitcoin. I meant to get the dollar one up. I fib lines on here, which is, like I said, remember I did that now, yeah. It's at a key level here, but if you can see, breaking down below the 18 average of lows. And, you know, I look at this, it's kind of odd it didn't support this level here. So it's difficult for me to see this. If anything, we might congest or resist 685, and we've already established support breaking below. But on the 1 minute term, yeah, just a major move down with everything else. So here's that situation like I mentioned with Bitcoin, key high to key low. So that's $6.11 or $6.12. And then the high in here is 714 rounded. So it's got to get and hold above, stay above, break above the 6 3/4 mark. The first level of 6.5, which is, well, where this line is coinciding together. A big level. Well, this is 653. This says 649. So this move here was a barely pierce extra, no surprise. And this was a barely pierce lower. So you see something like that. This is big because you hit the move, you hit your 38.2% retracement from your first move going down. And then you have your correctionary play within it. And if it can succeed in such, and really it's the must-hold area is much lower, but you had 1, 2, 3, 4 periods of doing all this stuff in here from like 1046 to like 1049. And then at 1050, it breaks out. Okay, so now it's looking to me like it's ready to go higher. We can see it's doing such right now. Now, in the meantime, this is all short term. I really don't want to go through much. But again, I guess I should state if it does break higher, I expect a quick move to that level of like 673, piercing more. So probably looking at about 680 something, or it's going maybe 675 or 676. I was asked about looking at Theta versus the Ethereum, and it's interesting. Okay, we have a little bit of a spike move here, but there's been a lot of ones on the opposite direction lately. I mean, if you look back, there was a bunch here, 4 of them in like 405, 406, 412, and that of 429. What volatility? Well, the price on the last one anyway. Price was what, 26. It got up to 26.58, so we're looking at a couple percent. And these ones look in the area maybe 1.5. If this is 2, then maybe these are 1.5 here. And this one's actually pretty big. This one's, because you can see the high is pretty much matching this, and where it came back to was like 25.75. But there was even some other ones before then too. And then this isn't really what I want to focus on. I mean, this is all regular yada yada trade stuff, and I guess there's this. But anyway, let's. I'm just going to pause it to where we are, and here we are. But it's the more longer term. So as far as trend lines are concerned, you have this. One thing that's a pretty good technique is draw the highs and lows together. This is just something that can be fun to do. So there's your support trend. And then you can try to do the same for where we've been, a little bit of a dip in here and something like that. I know that's just a terrible one. I'm going to get rid of that one. I like the support one. But what do we see here? We see like hit this high, come to this low, hit this high, come to this low. Even this cheesy one here, even a little bit in here, whatever. But high, low, high, low, high, low, high. And right now it's been down pretty big. It's at the area of support where you think, hey, did we get a bounce from here? And even if it doesn't, then you can talk about key low, key high, and where's this key low going to be when we have a really good retracement, that is. And it's been a very cheesy ass amount of a really good retracement. And I say, like, because this is like, meh, not bad, and wow, this is pretty good. So as far as the intermediate or shorter term, this is pretty big. This is really big. In fact, anything more becomes a collapse in this break of the trend line, and now we start again talk about this empty space, and then the monthly term time frame. Okay, maybe we can come in and settle this down. Maybe have a test of the 18 lows, or we have a bit of small price action below it. Stuff like that could happen. But as far as the buy low, sell high situations, what I've done is I've generated this on a statistical basis via price and time. So therefore, November the 30th, here, this is the 13,000 of 2018. And then it took all of December, pretty much all of January, so almost a couple months, and it went down to 31.44. That's greater than a 4x move. And then there's a whole bunch of other ones, but this one here is this is another closer to 5x move on this one. Not quite double, but very damn close on the third one. Barely beating the double on the fourth one. 86 to 28. Well, that's triple maybe. And noticeably better than double here. Almost triple, 2.5x. And now we're at like, well, this one's easy math because 80 would make it 4. And then 5 on 20 is a quarter, so 4.25. No, if that was 85,000 even, it would be. That's a decent sized move already. And big volatility can come into play, micro volatility at times. It does show you how well that Theta is holding in there and be able to have a nice little uptrend when you have Ethereum doing well also. And then when you look at the size of this move, oh yeah, that's big, like 80 to like 20, that's 4x is mentioned. It hasn't done anything like that against like the Bitcoin or anything like that. Well, that's because if you have a situation where one goes up first, the other goes up after it, well, the moves on the ratio scale are going to be larger, which in case here has been such with Ethereum. Thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.